By 50, I felt fat, frustrated, dumpy, and just felt like I had tried all the things and everything had failed. Hey friends, welcome to Homestead. If you are new here, my name is Hope, and I am passionate about simplifying life and health. And one of the ways I do that is by focusing on intermittent fasting. And on this channel, I share about the things that I'm doing, the journey that I'm on, and the things that I'm learning along the way. And I'm sharing that with you and hoping that you gain something from my experiences. Yesterday, I came across this quote by Ben Franklin. It says, "I didn't fail the test. I just found 100 ways to get it wrong." Man, that really resonated with me. Before we get started, let me make a disclaimer and say that I am not a medical professional. Don't take anything I say as medical advice. I encourage you to talk to your doctor if you have questions or you need direction. I'm simply sharing what my experience has been so far. My journey has looked like this. As a teen, I was in pretty good shape and very active. In my 20s, I got married, I had 2 children, and stayed relatively thin, gained some weight, and lost it pretty easily. In my 30s, it became a little bit more difficult. Then in my 40s, the weight definitely packed on. By 50, I felt fat, frustrated, dumpy, and just felt like I had tried all the things and everything had failed. My journey with weight loss included trying to be vegetarian, trying to be vegan, trying to be carnivore, trying to be keto, trying Whole30. I even tried some supplements, and everything just seemed to be either too restrictive or it was just too complicated. I kept trying to fit all of my nutritional needs into one of those boxes, and it just seemed like nothing was working. Now, there were definitely benefits to each one of these, but altogether, it was just not something that I could sustain for a long period of time. And I was tempted to just accept this failure. I felt like I was just going to be overweight, have low energy, and not be able to do the things that I wanted to as just a part of getting older. But I definitely got that wrong. I had not tried all the things. There was one thing that I had been really resistant to trying, and that was intermittent fasting. Finally, I did some research because I saw some people around me that I knew who were having success with it, and the science seemed to add up. But 16:8 and 18:6 and 24 and OMAD and 2MAD, and it just seemed complicated. And that's true because we as humans do tend to try to overcomplicate anything that's good, don't we? As my husband likes to say, we are people of extremes, and we can definitely go off one end or the other. So I decided to try it, but I just wanted to keep it simple. You know, the whole KISS. Keep it silly, simple, or keep it simple, stupid, or keep it super simple. Either way, anyhow you look at it, I wanted to keep it simple, and this is what I chose to do. So I started with an easy routine of just 12 and 12, and that means that I was fasting for a 12-hour window and I was eating in a 12-hour window. Now, it doesn't mean that I was eating for an entire 12 hours, but all of my food was being consumed within a 12-hour period of time. During my 12 hours of fasting, though, I was staying clean and only drinking black coffee and water. And during my 12 hours of food or eating, I was just trying to stick to what I knew was reasonably healthy, not a lot of junk food, and not a lot of snacks. I started out with having dinner just before 6 p.m., then not having any snacks after that. Then the next morning, not having my breakfast until after 6 a.m. Now, obviously, 7 to 8 hours of that in the middle of the night was sleeping, so that 12-hour fast really turned out to be pretty easy. So then that 12-hour fasting window grew to be a 14-hour fasting window, then a 16-hour fasting window, and my body has kind of settled at roughly a 20-hour fasting window now, and that's where I feel quite comfortable. That means that I'm fasting for 20 hours and I have a 4-hour window that I'm eating. So what that looks like for me is usually waking up and having a cup of black coffee because I'm still fasting. Then I will break my fast around 10 a.m. We typically have our big meal of the day between 10 and 11. And then I'll have another cup of coffee with cream in it in around noon. And then sometime before 2 o'clock, I'll have another small meal or a high protein snack before I go back into my fasting window. Now, what was my goal in intermittent fasting? Well, initially, as I read, I saw a lot of people talking about OMAD, eating one meal a day, and going carnivore and just seeing really incredible results. And that looked really tempting because, hey, wouldn't we all like to have our body back that we had in our 20s? But I knew that I needed to be realistic and I needed to make choices that are going to be sustainable. Knowing that I'm not going to go to the gym every day and I'm not going to eat beef and butter for one meal a day for the rest of my life, I decided that I needed to establish some intermittent fasting protocol or guidelines for myself, and this is what I landed on. So here are my 3 keep it simple fasting rules. Number 1 is that I'm going to clean fast. That means that anything that I have in my fasting window can only be water, black coffee, with maybe just a pinch of salt in it. 2, I'm going to eat clean, and that means that I'm going to do my best with what I can afford to purchase in the way of groceries, stay away from junk food and fast food, and then number 3, to keep the carbs down as much as possible. I'm not super strict about it, but I will make choices to have a vegetable over a starch within reason. I'm still going to have the occasional Friday night pizza, and I'm still going to have some pasta on occasion or flatbread with hummus. So those are just some of my favorites, and I'm not willing to give those up because I do want to enjoy what I'm eating. So here's the thing, those are my guidelines. And my husband has his own guidelines. They're not the same as mine because his body's not the same as mine either. If you're like me, you're tired of failing. So that means that you need to establish your own guidelines for your intermittent fasting and simply stick to that. Make your own rules and simply follow those. Don't beat yourself up about trying to meet someone else's standards. Do what you know you can do that is going to be sustainable long term because that's the only way this works. We don't have to make ourselves miserable. I mean, that's really the reason why diets fail, right? If you are not able to drink black coffee when you're fasting, just put what you need in it, and over time, your body will adjust and you'll be able to make the changes if you choose to. Let's just commit to doing the best where we are. I think that's another quote by another famous person, Theodore Roosevelt, who said, "Do what you can with what you have where you are." So start where we are and work and do the best we can and make the decisions that are the best for us where we are right now. You are the one who's going to look at yourself in the mirror. And when you know that you've done the best with what you have, it's going to make a difference in how you see yourself. I hope this video has been encouraging for you in some way. And if it has been, please press the like button. That helps YouTube to know that you like the video and possibly someone else will as well. Also, if you are new to intermittent fasting and you would like to join a group of Keep It Simple fasters, then consider joining me in my upcoming mini course called Fast Forward to Health, Discovering Intermittent Fasting. And I expect to be launching the course in roughly a month or so. I'm working on a waiting list, so if you would like to be notified, you're not committed by any means, but if you would like to be notified of when that course is going to be available, click the link below in the description and it will put you on a wait list so that we can get that message out to you when the course is available. I'd love to have you join us in that course and in the community where we are going to be supporting one another, giving one another gentle nudges, and sharing as we learn together on this journey. There are plenty of other communities out there that are strict and rule following, and that's not what this community is about. It's about encouraging each other where we are, and providing a safe environment to be able to share our victories and our struggles together. So if you are looking for a community like that, this just might be the place for you. Okay, friends, that's all I have for today. Till I see you in the next video, happy fasting.